So my big question when they announced Blue Beetle and all the trailers came out and the cast announcements was, where's Ted Kord? Now, I have no issue with Jaime Reyes. I like Jaime Reyes as a character and as the new Blue Beetle. But how can you have a Blue Beetle movie without the original somewhere in the mix? Well, we do sort of get him in name only. We do have Kord Industries, which is being led by his sister, played by Susan Sarandon, and she plays a fucking bitch very well. And we also have Ted's daughter, Jenny, played by Bruna Cuisine. I'm going to be butchering a lot of these names, so I apologize. And I thought she was fantastic as well. It's the first thing I've seen her in, period. So, and I want to see more of her in things. But that was not all. We actually find out, boom, right there on the screen, Ted Kord was the Blue Beetle. And one of the coolest things I thought was not only do we see his DC costume on display, we also see his Charlton Comics costume on display. Charlton was his original home before DC bought them. There's also something else that I thought was really cool that was not in the trailer, so I'm not going to say a word about that. I'm just going to let that be a surprise. But on to the current Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes. He's played by Xolo Marduana. He's known for Cobra Kai. He plays Miguel. And he played Jaime to an absolute T. He was perfect. He really was. Absolutely perfect. Everything from his mannerisms to the tone of his voice to his quips, and then the effects to bring everything to life. His weapons, his powers, everything was exactly what Blue Beetle does. Honestly, I think this is the first time DC has truly gotten one of their characters right in one of their movies. We are also introduced to, Susan Sarandon, she's the big bad. But the mini bad is just kind of this random asshole. But it turns out Kord Industries is developing OMAC, which DC fans know exactly what that is. If you don't know what it is, I won't spoil it, but it's cool to see it come to life. There's also nods everywhere to DC lore, from Superman to the Flash to Batman. There's even a blink and you'll miss it reference to Gold Beetle, who is actually a more recent addition to DC lore from the Future State storyline. Oh, and then there's George Lopez, and I honestly forgot how funny he can be. He is absolutely hysterical in his role as Jaime's uncle, Rudy. And one thing this movie does that a lot of superhero movies don't, or usually don't get right, is the importance of family. Even Shazam, I don't think, really got it right. See, we're constantly told in superhero movies by the villain, oh, your love for your family, or you worrying about your family, that makes you weak. Blue Beetle shows that, no, that's what makes you strong. And at its core, that's what Blue Beetle is. It's about family. And it's about the Latino culture, which I think this movie does a fantastic job in representing it. Ultimately, Blue Beetle surprised the hell out of me. I went into this thinking, this is going to be a throwaway movie. Blue Beetle, according to James Gunn, is the first DCU character, the new DCU. But the movie is not the first DCU movie. That's Superman Legacy. So it's a little confusing exactly what they're doing here. But I really do hope this movie makes enough money to not only get a sequel, because there's a mid-credits scene that sets up a hell of a tease for a sequel, but that Xolo gets to continue as Jaime Reyes, as Blue Beetle. The acting in general, I think, is great. The movie is hysterical. I honestly have not laughed this hard during a superhero movie in a long time. The effects, overall, very good. There were some instances where it looked like shit, kind of like basically OMAC, at times did not look very good. It looked like kind of a CGI mess. But in general, the effects, like this is the best effects I've seen in a DC movie in a while. So if you're hesitant about seeing Blue Beetle because you're thinking, the movie isn't going to matter because the whole DCU is being rebooted and blah, 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 or you have something against James Gunn because he fired Henry Cavill or whatever, just go see Blue Beetle and enjoy it for the movie that it is. Because at the end of the day, Blue Beetle is truly enjoyable. I give Blue Beetle, I'm going to give it an A.
Did you enjoy the review? Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to get notified when more reviews go live. Feel free to leave a comment to discuss your thoughts on the movie or show, and I will see you next time.